Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'll say the first one for tonight. Go blue. Let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube. Let me see. I always have to do this. You never know when the technology is going to not work the way you want it to. All right, there is the Oklahoma Sooners wagon, and there is the red icon. So let me click on that. There should be an ad. Yep, there's the ad. All right, let me see who's in the chat. I suspect I know who is in the chat. No, it's not Marmar. I thought it'll be Marmar. Blue Wolverine, thank you for being the first one here. You are the first one here. All right, go blue. Let me share this over on my original signaling tower. And I'll take my words, and then we will get started. All right, and as you might guess, it's not coming right up on my feed here. So I'm going to go to the channel. If you have any thoughts, if you have any initial thoughts, let me know what those are right there in the chat. All right, I'm going to play the intro, and then we are going to talk about the Michigan Wolverines first true test for 2025. Go blue. Oh boy. You know, even though at my workplace I'm a Fed, I'm going to keep it discreet. Uh, Me and my colleagues had a gift. The last 2 days we got to work at home, and even though I worked at home, the energy was a little bit low. But since this gentleman entered the chat, my energy has suddenly spiked. So I'm up. I'm back, baby. He was once a part of our proud Maize and Blue Nation. He went over to the Scarlet and Gray during the World Health Crisis, and now he comes back and does what he does. So thank you for being here, Abdul Gaines. Go Longhorns. All right, let's go blue. All right, I do hope that intro went off without a hitch out there in viewerland. My unit is a little glitchy tonight, but I think even though it might do the freeze thing over here in the studio, typically it transmits over to YouTube pretty flawlessly on the playback. Jarvis says, "Go blue." Thank you, Jarvis, for being here. And Abdul Gaines says, "I already." See, this is why he gets my energy up, because he brings the smoke, and he is not shy about bringing the smoke. He says, I already have a reserved seat on the Sooner schooner for that game. Blue Wolverine says, all working well. All right. So last week when I was talking with Marmar, we talked about Oklahoma because this is Michigan's first true test for the 2025 season. and we started talking about how much of a quality opponent Oklahoma is going to be. And so I said, all right, you can go back and watch the playback. I said, all right, well, maybe next week, we will talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. So I thought that this would be a fun stream. And when the game comes around, I'll be able to just cover the point spread and any injuries and vice versa. So Abdul Gaines, in honor of you, we're going to start with a tough team.
This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
You know, Abdul Gaines, I'm going to give you a little bit of Lou Holtz too, because you deserve a little bit of Lou Holtz.
We have the best offensive line in the country. Sam Hartman won't even get his jersey dirty all year. He has time to throw the football. The offensive line, we have great running back. Esteem is averaging about 10 yards a carry. We have great receivers. So offensively, we're set.
All right, well, I get something else together, Abdul. I'm going to give you just a little bit more of Lou Holtz just because you enjoyed Lou Holtz talking smack about your team.
He has lost to Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan twice, and everybody that beats him does so because they're more physical than Ohio State. And I think Notre Dame will take that same approach.
All right, everybody. Before we jump into the Oklahoma Sooners, I'm going to show something here that I saw earlier today, or was it yesterday? I'm losing track of the days here. I'm not going to show any video. YouTube struck my last video. I got happy showing videos here on X, but I will share this quickly regarding our quarterback situation. I think all of us were crossing our fingers, hoping that Bryce Underwood would get the nod. And I saw this earlier. It was either yesterday or today. So Ohio State fan, I'm talking about you too, Abdul. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. This says, according to a recent report from 24/7 Sports, true freshman Bryce Underwood is the clear favorite to win the starting quarterback job for the Michigan Wolverines this fall. I did not download that link. I'm not going to read it, but if you guys want to look that up, that's a quick Google search. That's from Maize n Brew. So as of now, it seems that Bryce Underwood is the favorite for QB1 for our Michigan Wolverines. Abdul Gaines. All right, Abdul Gaines says, well, Blue Wolverine says, Oklahoma with/without Moore, how much of an impact does that make on your projection for the outcome of the game? Well, I think he's going to coach that one, isn't he? Yeah, I don't think that's one of the games he was going to sit out. So I think he's going to be there. I mean, that's a homecoming for him, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. Abdul Gaines says, what happened the last two times your Domers faced the Scarlet and Gray? I know you know. Yeah, Abdul, but it's when the old man gets rolling, he was on a roll that morning before that game. All right. So the Michigan football schedule for 2025. Abdul Gaines, you guys, you know who our last regular season game is going to be. It's against you guys. But the schedule. And kickoff is only a month away. Can you guys believe that? This year it's blowing by. It's doing what it does. So the Wolverines, as you know, they open up against the New Mexico Lobos at the Big House, and then they travel down to Norman, Oklahoma, to face the Oklahoma Sooners. and that's the Wolverines' first true test for 2025. We've got Dominic Zavada back as our place kicker. He's clutch. Right, Ohio State fan. Dominic Zavada is clutch. All signs are pointing to the fact that we have a stout defense, a stout and stingy and physical defense coming back. So the key to this season is really going to be what happens on the offensive side of the ball, particularly the offensive line and the quarterback play. Bryce Underwood is a freshman. He's a true freshman. He's a phenom, but he's a true freshman. And that's going to be on the road. It's going to be loud, and it's going to be a very, very hostile environment. So that's going to be a true test, not just for the Wolverines, but it's going to be Bryce Underwood's first true test as well. Will the kid be up to the challenge? Will he be able to keep it together in an opposing stadium with I don't know how many people that stadium seats, but with everybody yelling and him trying to change the protections and call audibles and trying to signal to the offensive line and everything and looking at the sidelines for the play calls. How is Bryce Underwood going to do in a hostile environment? We'll have to wait and see. So I was thinking leading up to the stream, three fun facts about Michigan, Oklahoma. Michigan doesn't have a lot of history with Oklahoma, okay, which was surprising. I was thinking back to the 2025 Alamo Bowl. That was a Chad Henne, Lloyd Carr team. But it turned out that Michigan was playing Nebraska in that game, in the Alamo Bowl. Michigan versus Oklahoma. And I did some quick research, and it turns out Michigan has only played, up to this point, Michigan has only played Oklahoma once. And the year was 1976, which was a pretty good year. Of course, the year got better 7 months later in August. You guys can figure it out. I was born that year in August. But the Wolverines played the Oklahoma Sooners in a bowl game, okay, right here. So in the 1976 Orange Bowl, the Oklahoma Sooners defeated the Michigan Wolverines with a score of 14-6. This game played on January 1st, 1976, is notable for giving Oklahoma the national championship after Ohio State, the then top-ranked team, lost to UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Poor Woody. Hope he didn't punch anybody in that game. Oklahoma's win was secured by a strong defensive performance by Leroy Selman and key plays from players like Steve Davis and Nellie Brooks. So one of the things you hear about Bo Schembechler's team is that they did. Bo's teams tended to do really well in the Big Ten, but it was hit or miss when it got to bowl season, when he had to play in the Rose Bowl, or when he had to play Oklahoma, or when he had to play one of the Southern schools. So they lost that game to Oklahoma. So that's the only time Michigan has played Oklahoma up to this point. We know that Sharon Moore is an Oklahoma alumnus, and also we lost a wide receiver in recent years to Oklahoma. But he transferred over to Duke, Andrel Anthony. Andrel Anthony had a promising freshman year in the 2021 Cinderella season. He didn't have a really good sophomore year when J.J. McCarthy took over as quarterback. So he transferred after that to Oklahoma. And I looked it up earlier. He has since transferred to Duke University. So the kid has taken advantage of Abdul Gaines's transfer portal. Burks, thank you for being here. Good to see you. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. Abdul Gaines. We got a comment here from Buckeyes Battle Cry. He says, let's collaborate during the college football season. Not a good time for lives right now. Okay, sure. I mean, there'll be lots of time for us to anticipate the annual classic in the big house. Abdul Gaines says, Venables is supposedly a defensive mastermind. He can't allow a first-year starter in a hostile environment to get the best of him. Burke says, this guy is a scientist, author, and Michigan alum. So cool, Burks. Thank you for those that support. Yes, I am a Michigan alum. I am an author. I am a scientist, and I'm a content creator and a Michigan football fan. Marmarski. Let's see. Marmarski's here. Okay, Marmarski. Let me get through my talking points, and then I'll bring you up, and Dom, whoever else comes and wants to give reaction to this. Okay, so Michigan's second opponent is the Oklahoma Sooners, and it will be down in Norman. I thought about going to that game, but it looks like I will be watching it from the Peach State with my Uncle Ice and my Uncle T. But I will be watching it nonetheless. So the Oklahoma Sooners. So it turns out now last week, now I don't want to plagiarize Marmarski. We'd have to go back and fact check it, but I thought Marmarski said that they were moving into the SEC this season, but it turns out Oklahoma moved into the SEC, Abdul Gaines' favorite conference. They moved into the SEC last season, and the SEC wasn't very welcoming to the Oklahoma Sooners. Last year, Oklahoma, they went, okay, they don't have the total posted here. Oklahoma, why don't they have the total posted here for me? All right. Okay, here it is. Last season, Oklahoma went 6-7, and they went 2-6 in the conference, and they went 1-3 out of the conference. Okay, so they weren't they weren't welcomed. Well, yeah, they were given a nice SEC welcome. So they defeated Temple 51-3. They defeated Houston 16-12. Tulane 34-19. Tennessee 15. They lost to Tennessee 15-25. They defeated Auburn 27-21. They lost to Texas 34-3. They lost to South Carolina 35-9. They lost to Ole Miss 26-14. They lost to they defeated Maine 59-14. They lost to Missouri 30-23. They defeated Alabama. They upset Alabama. Our old friends, the Crimson Tide, they defeated Alabama 24-3. They lost to LSU 37-17. So they went 6-7, which did not qualify them for bowl eligibility. So that was their season last season. So what else I have here in my bag of tricks? Just very briefly, their statistics last season. Marmar says he's going to the gas station. All right, Marmar, I'll be here when you get done. You guys let me know what you think about any of this there in the comments section. I just want to take a quick look to get a feel for this team. They have a new quarterback, which I'm gonna talk about. Please smash that like button if you haven't. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you are not. Maze Madman is in the chat. Peace, Maze Madman. He says hashtag I'm upset over what? All right, so this is a quick look at some of Oklahoma's team statistics from last season. Okay. Again, they've got a new quarterback, so this is their second season in the SEC. So they're attempting to retool. So this is just a snapshot of what happened last season. So in terms of scoring offense, they were right there at the bottom. They're right there at the bottom of the SEC. All right. In 13 games, they scored 38 touchdowns. All right, they scored 312 points, and they averaged 24 points per game. Let's see what else here. So total offensive plays. All right. Okay, I'm going to look at total offense here. So Oklahoma in 13 games last season, they generated 2,286 passing yards, and they generated 2,017 rushing yards. So they were balanced. They just weren't very productive, and they averaged 331 points a game. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. Again, they averaged 24 points a game. In terms of total defense, Oklahoma, they were right there in the top half. In 13 games, they allowed 1,496 rushing yards, and they allowed 2,641 passing yards, and they allowed, 28 touchdowns, and they allowed an average of 318.23 yards per game. I'm not going to go over all these stats. I just wanted to just give a feel for what they looked like last season. Now, there's a short piece here. I'm going to read it. I promise it's short. Then we're going to take a look at John Mateer's statistics. Then I'll drop the link for whoever wants to come up. So, and I probably could have done a more thorough rundown of their stats. You guys don't want to hear me read stats though, so I'm not going to do it. Blue X Wolverine asks, "Is the host on X?" Yeah, Blue X Wolverine. My my X handle is this. That's my my X handle. All right, this piece. I'm not going to read this entire thing, but there is a well. Let's take a look at it together, guys. This is from College Football News. It says, Oklahoma football preview 2025 Sooners season prediction, win total, projection, top players. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read this first section here because just like we have that game circled, they have that game circled as well. And what's happening here? Why is that doing that? Hold on. All right. Just like we have that game circled, they have that game circled too. I'm going to read this. Oklahoma Sooners key game, Michigan, September 6th. Yes, the Texas Showdown is a big deal for Ohio State too. Yes, going to Tennessee matters, and the trip to Alabama will be a thing, and playing Missouri and Ole Miss is huge. However, Oklahoma beat Michigan 14-6 in the 1976 Orange Bowl. That was the only time the two superpower programs have ever faced off against each other. This time around, for a Sooner program that needs a lift, and with what's coming in the SEC, this is about as big a tone setter as it gets. So there's a lot riding on this game for both of our programs. Michigan's looking to rebound. Oklahoma is looking to assert itself and establish itself in the SEC. This one I'm going to read. I promise it's short, but it gives a nice overview of what the Sooners, of who the Sooners are in 2025 and what they're going to be looking to do, and also some of their key additions, because John Mateer is not their only addition. Yeah, Blue Wolverine, there's a story behind that name and the name for this channel and the name for all my channels. Please smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. This one is entitled. Okay, what's this? This is another ad. Hold on. Close. All right. Oklahoma football 2025 Sooners season preview and prediction. You guys let me know what you think there in the chat. All right. Coach Brent Venables could be at a crossroads with a 22-17 overall record in 3 seasons and a 2-6 debut in the SEC, where his squad finished tied for 13th in the standings. That's an SEC welcome. Oklahoma hosts Michigan in week 2 to go with a rugged week-to-week SEC schedule. It's difficult to envision the Sooners making great gains in a league loaded with preseason top 25 types. And that raises the question, when will Oklahoma start to resemble Oklahoma again? This is a storied program, just like Michigan, just like Ohio State, just like Alabama, just like USC, just like Notre Dame. This is a storied program. So they're just like we were looking for a resurgence of Michigan a couple of years ago. They are looking for a resurgence in Norman, Oklahoma as well. Previewing Oklahoma's offense for 2025, the Sooners, known for a dynamic offense, were almost unrecognizable during their debut season in the SEC. Couldn't run, couldn't pass, couldn't block. You know, when I read that, that reminded me of Mike Singletary. Can't win with them, can't coach with them, can't play with them, can't do it. I don't know if any of you guys got that reference. The Sooners, known for a dynamic offense, were almost unrecognizable during their debut season in the SEC. Couldn't run, couldn't pass, couldn't block. The numbers reflected the struggles: 97th nationally in points per game, 93rd in third down conversion rate, 113th in total offense, and 119th in passing yards per game. So it sounds like they were a little bit inept on offense, just like we were, at least, we know why we were. The transfer portal delivered a jolt of hope, with Washington State transfer quarterback John Mateer arriving after passing for 261.6 yards per game and ranking number 1 with 44 total touchdowns accounted for. The late spring addition of transfer running back Jaden Ott offered a jolt as well. Ott produced 3,460 all-purpose yards over 3 seasons with Cal. So he was with the Cal Golden Bears. Oklahoma tried to bolster the offensive line with transfer help, but the unit has a steep climb to competitiveness after getting dominated by SEC defenses and allowing 50 sacks, tied for the most in the FBS. If they haven't fixed that, we're going to exploit it. The receiving core needs playmakers to emerge. A healthy season for Deion Burks would be a boost. Make no mistake, however, all hopes rest with Mateer. Previewing Oklahoma's defense. I don't have much further to go, guys. I don't know if Marmar's done at the gas station, but I will entertain until he is. Previewing Oklahoma's defense for 2025. This unit has suffered key losses through graduation and the portal, but it does return enough pieces to be formidable while the offense develops. Defensive end, our Mason Thomas is a force on the edge, totaling 9 sacks, 12.5 tackles for a loss, and 11 quarterback hurries last season. On his way to second team all SEC recognition. Corner Eli Bowen earned freshman All-American honors, and senior safety Robert Spears Jennings is a physical presence. The addition of Oklahoma State transfer Kendall Daniels to the quote-unquote cheetah role should also help. So I guess that's a position on their defense, much like I guess Don Brown had his Viper. I guess they have a cheetah in Oklahoma. Let's see. Oh, we have a new person here. Asian Posh Doreen. Hey, friends, popping in to say hello. Asian Posh Doreen. Nice to meet you. Very, very lovely image there. Very easy on the eyes. Thank you for stopping through. She says, just subbed. I appreciate that. I wonder if Marmar brought you here. And then let's see, or maybe Maze Madman brought you here. He says, hey Doreen, thanks for popping by. So you know Blue Wolverine. All right. Okay, so Maze Madman says Doreen is everywhere. Okay, so she's a part of the gang. Oh, she's a Buckeye. So let's give you a little Ryan Day love here.
Like, I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. What he said about our team, I cannot believe.
Well, welcome, Doreen. I welcome all fan bases here. All right, so Buckeyes are welcome here. All right, promising tackle David Stone, a former 5-star recruit who surprisingly entered the portal in the spring, decided to return to Oklahoma, providing a boost to the front. I think that's well, let's read the caption. There is no caption. I guess that's Brent Venables right there. I'm not as familiar with the Oklahoma program. I'm more familiar with Ryan Day and the Big Ten and James Franklin and those kinds of things. Speaking of Ryan Day, let's get a word from Coach Harbaugh. Do I have the triple? Yeah. In honor of Doreen and any other Buckeye in here, let's bring back the triple.
Sometimes people that are standing on third base think they hit a triple, but they didn't. Thanks.
Coach Antoine is here in the chat. Coach Antoine, salute to you. Thank you for coming through, good sir. All right, Dom is here. All right, so if Marmar's not back from the gas station, then Dom, I guess you or Maze Madman, when you guys can come up, all you guys can come up. Doreen, you can come up. Okay. Previewing Oklahoma specialists for 2025, the Sooners hope they have solved their place-kicking vacancy with University of Texas San Antonio transfer Tate Sandell, who was 19 for 23 on field goals last season with a long 54. Fellow transfer Jacob Ulrich takes over the punting. The return game needs playmakers to emerge. So right now it looks like they are ranked nationally. I don't know if that's CBS or the AP or ESPN. I can't think of the other one. Thank you, Doreen. Yeah, humor's. Yeah, we do a lot of humor here. That's my personality. I'm working on the analysis. Shout out to Johnny Olden, the GOAT. But we definitely do humor here. John Mateer. So this is he's the predicted difference maker for Oklahoma. So let's look at how John Mateer did last season. It turns out he's a Texas kid, so he transferred close to home. In the lead up to the Washington game last season, I did watch highlights of the Washington State game. So I did see John Mateer play a little bit. The kid can sling it. So I could see why Oklahoma is excited about having him become their QB1. Let's see. So there's the kid right there. His name's going to come up quite a bit before the game and during the game, unless Rashawn Benny or someone else knocks him out. So there's the kid right there. 6'1". He's from Little Elm, Texas. He's a redshirt junior. And let's see, he weighs 224 pounds. So we'll just focus on what he did last season. So he started all 12 games. He completed 224 passes. He attempted 347 passes. He had a 64.6 completion percentage. John Mateer threw for 3,406 yards. See, the kid can sling it. Even though I watched that one game, I could see the kid could sling it, so he could sling it. So he threw for 3,000 yards for an average of 141.9 yards per game. He threw for 32 touchdowns. He turned it over 8 times. His longest throw was 72 yards. He can run too. Okay, so he's a threat to run the ball. He ran for 203 yards. I think this is. Let's see. He rushed for 203 yards, and then we have the 977. But he threw for 3,406. I'm not sure what that column represents. So it looks like he had 18 rushing touchdowns as well. So the kid's a dual threat. Okay, so that's something. Hopefully Wink is scouting for, and his longest run was 68 yards. I didn't look up Washington State's record to see how much this production translated into wins, but they're looking at this kid to be their difference maker. All right, so yeah, that's a quick look at the Wolverines' first true test for the 2025 season. It's going to be again, in football. Coach Antoine backed me up on this. Defense travels, okay. Your run game travels. Your kicker travels. But I think the big unknown for Team 146 is going to be the offensive line play and how Bryce holds up in that hostile environment. So with that, I'm going to drop the link. I think Doreen likes my humor, so we're gonna before some of you guys come up or whoever wants to come up, we're gonna drop the link. We're gonna have a word from Brady, and if any of you guys have any reaction to any of this or anything else, you can certainly put your 2 cents in. So a word from Brady. Brady Hope, that is, not Tom Brady.
We understand what Michigan football means and what Michigan football is. We will always be about the team at Michigan. This is never going to be about Brady Hoke.
And in honor of Doreen and the other Buckeyes, Brady wasn't a fan of that team from Ohio, and neither was I. Neither am I.
But I was not a fan of that university in Ohio because my buddies were, so I had to be different.
Okay, if Sharon Moore gives me a good drop, I'll make a drop for him as well. Let's see. Yeah, Dom, the link is there if you want to come up. Maze, Madman, if you want to come up. I guess Marmar's still at the gas station. A lot of things go down at the gas station. A lot of things can happen at the gas station, especially this time of night. We're getting into the evening hours. But if no one wants to come up, I did see something interesting from RJ Young earlier regarding the hammer, and the hammer coming down and the hammer potentially not coming down, and Tony Petitti coming to the conclusion that perhaps this whole thing has run its course. But I'm going to read some comments here. If nobody comes up, if Marmar's not done at the gas station, I will pull up RJ Young. And I think RJ Young is ready for this whole hammer dropping thing to be done. I was surprised to hear RJ Young say that. Okay, so let's see. Blue Wolverine says Dom must be wearing blue blockers. Coach Antoine, Blue Wolf salute. Coach Antoine says Oklahoma has a good front of the line. But I'm not worried about the secondary pieces. Dom is backstage. Coach Antoine says Oklahoma has a good pass rush. People say they're good against the run, but I don't think so. That's only against little fellas. And Coach Dom is here, so I don't need to read his comments because he's here. Dom, go Blue. Welcome.
How's it going, good doctor?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just taking a great bit of glee with this, announcement from Pettit over at the Big Ten that perhaps it's not going to be a sledgehammer, and the amount of crying in Columbus that it's not going to be a sledgehammer is rather amusing. But I said this a long time ago. Your show might have been Maze's or Johnny's. Larry Ellison did not spend $10 million or whatever it was, and Portnoy kicked into that as well, for Bryce Underwood to be prohibited from playing in the college football postseason. And I knew that all along. Money talks, and okay, maybe you suspend Sharon for a game or two, but any sort of serious hammer wasn't going to happen. And it's not going to happen. And I'm taking great glee in the unraveling in Columbus. I got a call today from a friend back in Columbus. And, here we are. We're in July, and they're already sweating November 29th. They're already sweating the game in Columbus. And, no disrespect to Doreen. None of this to you, Doreen. You're a class fan. And if Michigan would lose to Ohio State, you and maybe one or two other people that I know I'd be very happy for. But the rest of them, I'm just enjoying it to the max.
Yeah. Many of them have been very, very indignant and self-righteous, and I'll just use those two adjectives: indignant and self-righteous regarding this.
I heard.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No. I think part of that is fear of not being able to beat Michigan right now. Go ahead.
I had heard on a different Michigan podcast that there's some concern about Mikey King. And
I've heard that. I'm starting to hear that too.
And the injury, it's typical Michigan, keep everybody guessing. So my concern is if Keene isn't able to go, Garcia's backup. And if Garcia can't cut it, we down to Chase Herbstreit. So
is Davis on?
Davis Warren had an Achilles, I believe. He isn't looking at coming back. My understanding, last I heard, was sometime middle of the season. I mean, you'd have to get an update from Madman on that.
Oh, not Davis Warren, Jaden Davis.
Oh, Jane Davis. I forgot about Jane Davis. Yes. So interesting. But he doesn't have playing experience as Mikey King does. That's right. What I'm talking about, is having somebody with experience to step in, should that be the need. But I don't know. What's absent in the conversation is, okay, he's a freshman, so forth. He's been on campus now, 6-7 months? So he's fully acclimated to where he's staying, where the best pizza is, and so forth. Mar. And
what's up, brother?
He's totally integrated into Michigan. And so that piece of the puzzle's gone. And it's not an arrogance that I perceive from Underwood. I don't. It's been there, done that. So they went, the cameras are going to be on you. Camera's been on the kid since he was born. So I think we're going to be okay. I just rather them hand the ball off to Jordan Walker or Haynes, as opposed to Bryce taking too many runs and getting hurt. That's my.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of game plan Chip Lindsey puts together for that game. Is he going to go conservative? Is he going to open the playbook wide up? And how will Bryce respond in a hostile environment with another power conference?
To me, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. It'll be Bryce getting exposed to that environment that'll pay dividends down the road. And if you think about it, the mentality of the young man, if we would lose that game, it's only going to push him harder.
Okay. Marmar, what's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing today? It's gonna be brief. My phone been dying all day. I ain't been able to charge it. All I want to say is that I was watching the Chris Bayless show or whatever they called. I don't know what they're Blue Wolverines, something like that. And they were sitting down with all the players. I like how Jordan Marshall attitude is. I like how the defensive young men took Derek Moore took his belt off and said he's gonna put belt to ass to Michigan State. I like how Jaden Davis and Bryce Underwood get along and they talk highly of each other. And again, Jordan Marshall said that he didn't come here to win bowl games. He came here to win natties. And if you don't want to be here for the natties, you can leave. So the mantra coming into this season is not the same mantra that we went into the season last year. They ain't have to deal with the off-season stuff. Coaches leaving, doing all that extra stuff. Everybody can focus on the season. This is the full season. Just watch how that works out for this team this year. With it, the focus have been all year in 2025, going into the 2025 season. It has not been a hiccup in any of this. Even with Tony Petitti dropping that bombshell of advocating for Michigan, they already served the punishment. So let's move on. We just wait on the NCAA. You know they're gonna drag their feet because they don't have no merit. That's just my take, my opinion. So going to Oklahoma, even the defensive dudes, before Derek Moore took the belt off, talking about you gonna put the belt to ass to Michigan State, they gonna do. Then he said we're gonna go to Oklahoma and do the same. We ain't scared of Norman. So I like the energy this year, alongside with the Ohio State drill that they do every day, that they will start doing on July 30th when fall camps start taking place, because we'll be 30 days away from game time. First Bryce game under the lights. That's special and needed. We're going to shock the world. Even the players say the offense is going to be 20 times different. I can't wait. I believe we're in a better situation. I'm not concerned about the offensive line. In my opinion, why I'm not? Juan Castillo. His expertise is going to bring a whole different dynamic to the offensive line. So where they're gelling mid-season, before the tough games, they are gelling because of his presence in that offensive line room. Oh, on top of Shamon Moore problems and knowledge of the O-line. Then Grant Newsom on top of that. All right now. Then the run game. Justin Haynes and Jordan Marshall. Woo! Then they can create space on their own. If the offensive line breaks down, they can create angles to take it 40 to 50 or even to the house. Even Bryce Underwood. So I'm not worried about anything. I can't wait till the season starts. Tomorrow's a Big Ten Media Days. Jerome Moore will take the podium and speak his Michigan stuff. All right. And I got that recording for tomorrow. So I'm going to check it out when I get on home. But I'm telling you, we are a month and a couple weeks away from Michigan touching that gold blue banner and taking the field. And everybody going to be talking about that night game. I know it's New Mexico, but if it ain't 70-3, we got problems. But I expect it to be 73 blowout, blow the hinges off of them. People going to be talking about Michigan serious. They're going to try to hype us up, but we ain't going to buy the hype because we know what's next. We know what's next. The locker room know what's next. Everybody in America know what's next after that New Mexico game, and that's going to Oklahoma with Bryce, where Bryce is going to show out. I love you guys. My phone dying. Go blue. And Amrod, I appreciate you. I love you, brother, for the opportunity. Thank you. It's been a blessing, and I love you guys. Dom, you've been an intricate part Anton, everybody, Michigan Blue Wolverine, Doreen, I see you in here. Thank you for coming to support my man's Anwar. Big discussion. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? If I missed out on some people, I didn't mean to. I love you. Go Blue, and let's get it.
All right, thank you, Mama.
Yes, sir.
Doc, I'm going to sign out myself.
Okay.
And before I leave, last year the pressure was immense on Ryan Day in Ohio State. It's 2,062 days. Let that sink in. 2,062 days and counting since they beat Michigan. They thought the pressure was bad last year in Columbus. Wait till they get to Ann Arbor. I want a shutout. I want a shutout this year. I want to shut them out. 0 on the board. I'll see you guys
Thanks,
later. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming up. All right, we got some Abdul, what do you think? We got some trash talking in the chat. Here you go, Abdul.
You tell them they better bring their lunch because it's going to be a full damn day's work.
Hey, I love that. Hey, hope you heard that, AJ.
All right, we've got some trash talking in the chat. Abdul is in a verbal wrestling match with Antoine, and Coach Antoine says, to me, the team is just as good, if not better, than last year. We damn near upgraded at all positions. Abdul says, did U of M make the playoff last year, Antoine? Of course not. That being said, we have unfinished business Thanksgiving weekend. I love Abdul. I love your confidence, whether it's the Lakers, whether it's the Buckeyes. When you get behind your teams, you get behind your teams. Coach Antoine says, do you have a raggedy championship record? Coach Antoine says, better quarterback, better OC, better wide receivers, better running back. Abdul says, no pressure felt, Dom, regarding the Buckeyes coming to Ann Arbor. Coach Antoine says, what I want to know is why every good Ohio State player coming from another team last year? And Coach Antoine says, where's the development at Ohio State? Okay. I'm tempted to play the RJ, that clip of RJ's discussion about Tony Petitti saying enough. But I'm not going to play it. My second to last video got demonetized. I mean, I don't know how closely RJ is copywriting his stuff, but suffice it to say, Dom mentioned it. It appears that Tony Petitti. You know what? Let's look it up. Let's look it up before I finish the stream. Tony Petitti. 2 T's, 3 T's, Michigan. Well, I will credit RJ Young for covering it. That's where I saw it first. And we'll go to Buckeyes Wire. So this, I'm not going to read this, guys, because I'm going to wrap the stream up shortly. So to all the Buckeye fans expecting hammer time, this says, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti responds to letter sent to the NCAA advocating, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti responds to letters sent to the NCAA advocating for Michigan. Just take a quick look at this. All right. It was a big shocker earlier in the week to find out that Michigan Commissioner Tony Petitti reportedly sent a letter to the NCAA advocating for Michigan not to face any more penalties for the alleged advanced sign stealing allegations. You knew that it would be a topic of conversation with that news dropping right before Big Ten football media days. And sure enough, it didn't take long for the media to ask Petitti about it when he stepped to the podium to deliver his press conference on Tuesday. Being the politician and even-keeled spokesman for one of the biggest brands in sports, Petitti was not about to take the bait, but did confirm that he sent a letter. We did submit a letter. Petitti said it's not uncommon in proceedings for a conference office to weigh in. I'm not going to address what the contents of the letter we sent are, and because it's an ongoing process, I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment whether the punishment is enough or not while there are individuals deliberating. I don't think that's the right thing to do in the process. Petitti refusing to discuss the contents of the letter is not surprising, and neither is the reported contents of the letter coming from ESPN's Dan Wetzel. It's still an ongoing investigation, and Petitti isn't going to throw gasoline on the fire of a very controversial topic. Also, is advocating for one of the best and biggest brands in the Big Ten isn't surprising at all. He acted swiftly and appropriately early on, and now it's time to get in the bunker and try to keep the interests of the Big Ten above everything else. Keeping Michigan in the picture of the college football playoff is exactly what he is expected to do. Ohio State fans may not like his position. In fact, most in the college football world won't, but it's better for the Big Ten to have Michigan being Michigan. The good news is that this whole thing is going to be over soon, probably right before or after the 2025 college football season begins. Then maybe we can all get on with our lives and just focus on football on the field. All right. I don't know if there's more. I'm not going to read more, but that's it. So if you guys recall, I mean, not only did that almost derail the national championship season, the undefeated Big Ten championship, Rose Bowl championship, college football playoff championship season, not only did that engulf it in controversy for the last, well, Jim was out for the first 3 games, and then he got suspended for the last 3 games. But the kids had razor sharp focus. JJ McCarthy and his bet tweet, but it was around last season, and Buckeye fan was really. Have you guys ever played Punch Out? The old Punch Out game, and you could look in the audience and see Donkey Kong rooting for your opponent. That was a Buckeye fan rooting for Michigan to get the hammer. So this is certainly positive. And there was that awkward moment, that very, very awkward moment in Indianapolis when Michigan won the Big Ten title over Iowa. I think Coach Harbaugh had Zach Zinter accept the trophy from Tony Petitti. And there's a picture of Tony Petitti looking at Coach Harbaugh like he'd seen a ghost because he had him suspended. And lo and behold, he had to hand him the trophy, but he had Zach Zinter accept it instead. So I'm going to read a few more here. Looks like our verbal jab between Coach Antoine and Abdul. And Coach Antoine says, "Where is the development at Ohio State?" Abdul says the development at Ohio State is in the trophy case, updated 6 months ago. Coach Antoine says it took Ohio State to recruit other people's players and a 5th-year 5-star senior to do it. Dom says it's money that matters. And he said, plus Team 144 had the 1,000th win as well. Yeah, I definitely. Yep, that was here. I was at that game at Maryland, the 1000th win. I was there. But definitely, yeah, money. When you're talking about the power, is it still the Power Five with all the rearranging? Money is definitely significant there, and the Big Ten is much better off when Michigan is good. And this year, with Michigan in contention for one of the 12 playoff spots. So that's spot on, Dom. All right, everybody, I'm at an hour. I was blessed to work remotely today, but tomorrow it's back in the office. So I need to pick something and then get in the bed. So thank you to everyone who hung out in the chat. Thank you to the new subs, Doreen, and let's see, Burks. I think it was Burks. Thank you to Maze Madman for stopping through. Dom, Marmar. Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. A little quick advertising. Burks liked my my subtitle: scientist, author, blogger, content creator. So I am a writer as well, and I did write a sports-related book. This is available on Amazon. The Engineers of Western New York Basketball Story. It's a story about what sports teach you about life as a young person. Many of the same lessons I learned here are the lessons the Wolverines are learning, and the Buckeyes and the Sooners and the Crimson Tide. Sports teach you a lot. And the hardcover is available on Amazon for $35. The paperback is available for $27. For my YouTube subs, I'm selling this signed here for $25, the hard copy, and $22 for the paperback. Just use any one of those payment methods there in the ticker, and be sure to send me your mailing address as well. So with that, Dom says, let's see. Yeah, we got to get Coach Antoine on the panel at some point. Don't be shy. You're so knowledgeable. I feel like Coach Antoine came up on the panel once, or maybe he appeared in the backstage and had to run and do something else. But yeah, well, that's why I call him Coach Antoine. And he says, thank you for having me, good doc. Thank you for coming up, Dom. All right, everybody. If you're watching on the playback, shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. Please like, share, and subscribe. Go Blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you all the next time. So with that, one other thing, the description box, the information for my book is there as well if anyone is interested. And it's about time for me to ping Johnny Olden Jr. for our annual preseason show. So that'll probably be mid to late August. That's what I'm going to ask him for. Anyway, everybody have a good night. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.